going to do a couple of different ice cream cones today. And you guys, in terms of materials, you use what you have. What I'm going to use is regular paper. I'm going to start with a super simple one with a pencil, just a regular old pencil. But then I might do a second one where I color it in with colored pencils. So if you have colored pencils, you can use those. And I might, if there's time, it all depends on time. I feel like this class goes so fast. It has been yesterday since we've seen you. I know, it feels like forever. If there's time, I may do one using charcoal pencil. So, Vienna Victoria, that lesson, the what you're holding up right there, that is for next week. That one's for next week, okay? Yeah, that's the project we're doing next week. This week is the ice cream cones. It should say Wayne Thiebaud inspired ice cream cone drawings. So last time we met, which was last time we met was 2 weeks ago. So yeah, yesterday, yeah, you might have been yesterday's class with Rhiannon. You're right. So I saw you guys 2 weeks ago. And to answer the question about colored pencils or pastels, it's totally up to you. If you have pastels and you want to use those, awesome. I will say that you can use, if you have oil pastels, they might be a little bit harder to use because they don't blend as well. But you can if you want, but soft pastels, which are usually more chalk-like, you can use those. All right. Today is not the swirl. I know it's confusing. Our website is a little confusing. So we're actually week, or it should say Tuesday, July 21st. It's not the very last one. It's the one before the last. It's week 3 because we're in July. This is the 3rd week of July. That's how it's lined up. So yeah, if you have that swirl printed out, just put it aside, hold on to it. We're actually doing that next week. Sorry, yeah, and that's week 4. That's the next one. Okay. Sorry, Des. Sorry, Max. So 2 weeks ago, we were focusing on kawaii, which is drawings that are super cute and fun, and we're like have faces and we're more cartoony. Today, we're going to do some drawings that are more realistic. So if you go, let me make sure everybody has the page. I'm going to add this to the link, or I'm going to add this to the chat so that you have here we go. If you go to the link that I just put onto the chat, you'll be able to see a picture that Wayne Thiebaud did of some ice cream cone drawings. And that's kind of our inspiration for today. And what, like I said, we're doing is we're really focusing on value. And value is the light and darkness of a picture. So you can use value just by using pencil based on how hard you press down or how light you're pressing. You can use value based in color. So you can see in these pictures from Wayne Thiebaud, his ice cream cones, you can really see that there's a dark side and a light side to the ice cream cone. One side is shadier than the other. And if you ever try to draw something that is on the more realistic side, then shading comes in handy. Max, happy birthday. Oh my gosh, happy birthday. I hope you're doing something fun after this class. Super happy birthday. All right. How old are you turning, Max, if you want to share? If not, don't worry. Switch. Oh, you're turning 14? Nice. That's a good age. I like 14 is a good year. I like that. That's awesome. Well, happy birthday. Okay. I'm going to go down here. So there's no one way to draw an ice cream cone. There's lots of different kinds of ice cream cones. You've got like the kind with the swirls. You've got the kind with the scoops. I'm going to do one in the style of Wayne Thiebaud today. So I'm going to do ones that are like kind of resting in like a little tray. So if you want to follow along with me, you're welcome to. if you want to draw your own style of ice cream cone, you're also more than welcome to. I'm going to start with a line, and you can use a ruler for this, but I'm just kind of going to draw it freehand, and I'll do it a little darker for you guys. A line across the page, and then another line a little bit below it. I'm doing it kind of lightly, only because I'm going to have to erase some of it. This is going to be the little ledge that the ice cream cone is resting on. Maybe I'll do one more little line underneath just to show that this is the edge. And a ruler would really come in handy right now. If you have one, use one. I'm just doing it freehand, just like that. Okay, all right. Now I think I'm going to add in 3 ice cream cones. So all I'm doing is I'm going to do like little U shapes on top of the of this plank that I have now drawn in. So I'm going to start over here. I'm just doing like a little U shape here. That's going to be where the ice cream cone is going to be sitting. So 1 U shape, 2 U shapes, and then I'll do a 3rd one. And I think, like I said, each ice cream cone that I draw, I might try to shade in a little bit differently. So these are just kind of going to be the bases of the ice cream cone. This is the curve of the cone. Okay. All right. Now, like always, I have a tendency to go a little quick, so you have to let me know if you need me to slow down or if you need me to repeat a step. Coming up from these sides, all I'm going to do is I'm going to do kind of a line that's like going to be for the top of the cone. It's coming up like this, coming up like that. And actually, I'm going to erase the line behind it because we're not going to see that part of the cone now. And I'm going to do that on all 3. So these are going to be for the cones. 1, 2, and 3. So learning how to shade properly, learning how to make things look realistic, really depends a lot on knowing where your light is coming from. So in our picture, in this picture that I'm drawing, I'm not going to actually draw it in. I'm imagining that the light, and I can draw it in on my tablecloth, I'm imagining the light is coming from this direction. And so when the light hits this side of my ice cream cone, this is going to be the light side, and the other side is going to be the shady side. I'm going to draw in the bottom part of the cone, and how I do that is I'm just taking this line down here, and really, like above the paper, I'm just kind of like moving my pencil above the paper, not really drawing on it, but I'm just trying to follow that line down here. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side to make it like a true cone. So I'm just following that line down. And then I'm giving it a little end to my cone, just like that. I'm going to do the same to all 3. So I just kind of take the edge of that cone and I bring it down and go down like this, just like that. Oh, hi, Nissy. Yeah, sorry, Nissy. Yeah, if you go to the page that we were, the page I wrote on, actually here, let me add it back in. Oh, thank you, Scott. You're on top of it. Yeah, if you go to that website, you'll see we're looking at an artist named Wayne Thiebaud, and he was an artist who I think was from New York. I think he lived in New York. He had a lot of his drawings and his paintings were all about drawing sweet treats. And so we are actually starting by drawing some kind of realistic style ice cream cones.
Could you slow down a little?
I can. I just saw your message, Kat. Absolutely, I can. And so I did 3 There is, it's totally up to you how many ice cream cones you do. If you just want to do one, by all means, just do one. Don't feel pressured to do a bunch, okay? You don't feel pressured like that you have to finish as many as me. I'm just doing 3 so that we have some variety, because we're gonna work on shading today. And I'm gonna do 1 ice cream cone shaded just with a pencil. And then another ice cream cone, I might use some colored pencils. So I might give it some color. I might add light and shadow with color. And the third one, if there's time, I'm gonna try to do a charcoal pencil. So I'm doing some different types of examples to show you guys, but there's no need for you guys to do all 3. If you are happy with just doing 1, just focus on 1 today, okay? So shading is really something that takes a lot of practice. So be kind to yourself today. It's something that it's all about just doing over and over and over again. It's just like playing an instrument. I always say that, like, you're never perfect at it the first time you do something. And especially when you're working on shading and trying to figure out where the light source is, it can be a little tricky. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Tater Tot. Oh, that was the sweetest comment. I just saw his comment. He said that if you're working at a pace that works for you, then that's fine. Don't feel stressed. You can finish these anytime. That is the sweetest comment. Thank you, Tater Tot, and I completely agree. Okay. So, like I said, there's lots of different kinds of ice cream cones. There's kinds that are like the swirly soft serve kind. There's kinds that are just the scoop kind. I'm gonna do the scoop kind just because I think it's a little faster. But if you want to do a swirly kind, you can do that. If you want to look at some images of ice cream cones, that can help too. What I always say about looking for images online is that all artists do it. All artists look up images of what they're drawing. But the trick is not just copying those pictures. It's taking what you see and then changing it and making it yours. So you're welcome to look up some ice cream cone drawings if you want for some inspiration. I'm inspired by Wayne Thiebaud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do ones that are kind of in his style. And they're just kind of going to be the scoop kind. So starting with the first cone, or my ice cream cone, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give it like a little bit of a wavy bottom to the bottom of my ice cream cone, coming up like this. I'm going to have to eat some ice cream after this class. Then if I want, I can finish the top part, but I'm going to do it lightly because I'm going to be erasing, because this is going to be a two scoop cone. On top of this cone, on top of this scoop, I'll do another little kind of wavy line with another scoop coming on top of it. And then I'm going to erase that line from below. I'm actually going to fix this up a little bit, kind of like that. So now I should have 2 scoops. Make this one a little bit bigger. If you want to add in any other details like a cherry on top, you can do that. I wouldn't add sprinkles yet. That's going to be the last thing you do. If you want to add sprinkles, save that last. I'm just going to make these cones, I drew these cones really big, making them a little bit smaller just at the top. Okay, so I'm just going to go and do that. I'm going to do that to all 3 because I'm just going to keep mine kind of similar. So I'm just doing kind of a wavy line on the bottom for 1 scoop. Coming up here, that, another wavy line for my second scoop. And I'm drawing kind of sketchy, kind of light, because that way I can erase and kind of fix up any lines that I don't like. Just like that. Let me do the third. Okay. Coming up. A wavy line like this. And there's my third cone. And I'm not getting too detailed with any of these yet because I want to work on the shading a little bit. All right. You're trying to detail the waffle cone. Oh my gosh, yeah. So the waffle cone, it can be, that can be challenging. That can be, so the other thing about shading is that when you're doing a picture that is more realistic, you have to realize that it just takes more time. It definitely takes a lot of hours. Most finished drawings that are realistic, the artist has put, you know, 2-3 hours behind it. And that's kind of how you get to a super realistic picture, is by spending a lot of time on your drawings, is by spending a lot of time by going back and adding in lots of layers. Tater Tot says he tends to do like 25,000 passes with shading when you're doing digital painting. Exactly. Especially when you're shading, it takes a really long time. It's very different from the style of drawing we did 2 weeks ago. So the kawaii drawings are almost like, they take very little time in comparison, because there's just not, because when you're coloring it, it's very flat. It's just not, you don't need as much time. With shading, you have to keep adding layers and layers and layers of color, layers of shadow. The one thing I always notice, so before the pandemic, one of the things I was doing was I was running a workshop for a high school in LA. It was an arts high school, and I was helping kids put together their portfolios for college. They're all like juniors and seniors, and they were applying to colleges, and they were applying to art schools. And one of the things that I noticed in almost all of their drawings is that they never ever went dark enough with their values. They always had, they always went too light. So they never spent enough time with their value drawings. So the one thing I'm going to say about when we start shading, so I want you to pick what side your shadow is coming from. So, or your light is coming from. So that way you know what side the highlights are going to be and what side the shadows are going to be on. So my light is coming from over here. So this side is going to be the light side. So I'm going to start shading my cone a little bit. And I'm going to start shading the dark side. And I'm just taking my pencil, and along this side, I'm going to start adding some pressure. Kind of coming up here. This side of my cone is going to be the darker. It's best to work in layers when you're doing this, because it's a lot easier to add more darkness than it is to take away. If you start too dark, then it can be really hard to erase, and it looks kind of strange when you're erasing. So you want to start light and work and add in layers. So all I'm doing is I'm just starting with the edge, and I start with a little bit of a harder pressure. And as I work my way over to the the cone, I'm lightening my pencil up. And this is the part that I say takes a lot of practice. This is the part that it can be really challenging. And that's okay. That's totally okay. It's all about practice. It's all about, like, it's almost hand skills. It's learning how to take your pencil and change that value. So it's like when you practice scales on a piano, this is kind of like practicing scales with your hand. But I always like to start light and then work on adding in layers and layers. So I'm keeping at it. I don't want to fully, I'm actually leaving an area right here on the left side where the sun is going to be, or the light, I don't know if it's, maybe it's like a fluorescent light, I don't know. But where the light is hitting the cone on this side, I'm actually trying not to color it in almost at all. I want to leave that area super, super bright.
Amy's got a question about shading. If she's using black paper, would she still use a normal pencil to shade?
Oh, so if you're using black, so you're actually going to be kind of doing the total opposite. So when you figure out, so instead of shading, you're going to pretend that your pencil is your highlighter. So wherever you see the light, you're just going to do the opposite. So I would start from the side with the light, and I would press down really hard where it's the brightest, and then I would go lighter and lighter as you work towards the dark side. Is that, who was that was doing that? Was that Evie?
That was Evie, yes.
Evie. Yeah. So Evie, you're basically doing everything we're doing, just opposite. Like backwards. So what you are doing is you are drawing in the highlight. You're shading in the highlight. You're highlighting the highlight. Good question though. So I wouldn't, yeah, you don't even need to use your pencil. Or your regular pencil, you can just use your white. The other area that there's going to be a little bit of shadow is underneath where the ice cream is overlapping this cone. So there's where the ice cream is touching the cone here underneath, there's going to be another little layer of shadow. So I'm going to go through and darken up this line underneath here. And the trick is trying to make that the change in value gradual. It's trying to make it look smooth so it doesn't go straight from super dark to super light. So you're trying to get that value change to be nice and smooth. And doing it with a pencil is very different from doing it with a colored pencil, which is very different from doing it with paints or pastels. It's how you do it is gonna change based on the material you're using. So, but I'm just working on that shading. Okay, so I left that area over here. I left my that area is gonna be highlighted. I'm not even adding in any of the waffle cone texture yet. I might do that on the top. I am going to start to add some shadow to the bottom of the cone. So once again, a lot of the bottom part of the cone is going to be shaded, especially this side. So start on this side. I'm going to bring that shadow down to the tip of the cone. But in addition to just the regular shadow that we're drawing in right now, for the bottom of this cone, there's going to be a whole separate shadow because of this ledge that the cone is sitting on. So this ledge is actually going to cast another shadow. I'm going to actually draw in like a curved line at the bottom down here, because everything underneath this ledge to that curved line I just drew is going to be cast in shadow. So when you're learning to draw things realistically, it can be really, really helpful when you're drawing from observation. So if you ever are just, I know I've mentioned this before, but I think it's really, really good practice if you want to learn how to draw realistically, to take some time, you know, once or twice a week, and sit down with an object. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. It could be something from your house. It could be a toy. It could be your teddy bear. It could be your Xbox. It could be anything. But it's really, really helpful to sit down and just try drawing it from observation, to sit and really look. And the things that you're looking for when you're drawing are, you're looking for the light and the shadow, because that's something that you have to, the more you practice just looking for it, the more you'll see it in real life. So just learning to look for the light, learning to look for where the highlight is, learning to look for where that shadow falls, learning to look for the shape of things. We do that I think a lot of artists tend to look for the shape pretty easily, but learning to look for the light and the shadow is something that we don't necessarily do consciously. Like we kind of, our unconscious looks for the light and the shadow, and we can kind of tell when something looks off. We probably notice if the light and the shadow was weird, but it's not something that we look for with our, while we're thinking about it. So it's just a good practice just to like sit and look and see, if I'm looking at this glass, where are where is the light and shadows? Glass is really interesting. Glass can be one of the hardest things to draw because the lights and the shadows really kind of like reflect. Reflections are always very interesting. Let's see, I'm gonna go back, look at some of these. Where do you shade, Evie? Oh, Evie, were you responding to Tater Tot when you were doing it? Okay, it depends on your fur. Okay, all right. So how is everybody doing with their shading on their cone? We okay? Good, doing good, awesome. I see thumbs up from Laura. Liliana, Heather Rose, you guys are done with your shading on your cone? Awesome. If you're done with the shading on the cone, then you can start to work on the ice cream. So I'm gonna start to like I'm just adding in like a line kind of from here about where the light would hit. So I'm assuming the light is really hitting these two corners. So kind of up to here. So starting on the side, I'm doing the same thing I did on the cone. I'm just gonna start with the dark. Really dark. And I'm gonna start changing the value. So the shadow is gonna be on the dark side or on the right-hand side. And also the shadow is gonna be underneath the cone, underneath the two scoops, kind of the same way it was underneath here. And
Tater Tot would like to know how you make something glossy or wet. Make something look glossy or wet.
That is a lot of adding in highlights afterwards. So depending on what material you're using, if you're painting, it can be really fun to add in highlights at the very end. And those are the last little highlighting details when you add in some like white reflections. Those are the tricks that can make something really look glossy and wet. But to do that, you have to wait to adding in those super bright white highlights is the last step. You kind of want to lay down a base layer of color first. And then, so it's called your midtones. Your midtones are those shades in the middle, in between the lights and the darks. So you kind of start with your midtones, you lay those down first, and then you work on building up the layer of shadow. And then at the very last bit, you want, and it, like I said, it depends on what material you're using. If you're using paint, it can be really nice to use like a super bright white paint. If you're using colored pencils, then it can be nice to just go back in with some bright white pencil. If you're using regular pencil, it can be a little trickier because those areas of highlights, you're gonna have to not color in with your base tone first. You're gonna have to kind of think about where those highlights are at the very beginning and draw those in last. So because you don't want to like get color on them at all. So you're really trying to to add in those highlights. But that's kind of the trick for making something look glossy or wet. It's really focusing on those highlights. Good question though. Evie said a lot of highlighting. Yep. You're doing it with digital. So yeah, with digital, it's pretty simple to add those highlights at the end. Like you can just, yeah. I don't do a lot of digital work. So what program do you use, Tater Tot? Do you use are you using Adobe? Because the cool thing about digital work is that you accrete to, I don't know that one at all. I wish I could help you out with that, but honestly, your best your best friend is just YouTube. See if you can YouTube some drawing tutorials on drawing things from observation. Because usually if you look up a drawing from observation, like you'll be able to find somebody drawing in a some glass. So it's kind of fun to watch somebody like try to draw or drawing in at something that is clear or glass, and that can give you some good tips. But I don't know Krita at all. The blur, yeah, the blur tool. Yeah, I wish I did more digital. That's one area that I don't really have much expertise in. So I'm adding a layer of shadow underneath the top ice cream scoop. And then I'm gonna start adding in some shadow to the top one. Yeah, I envy people who draw digitally, because it just seems like you can, the way you can change all the layers of things, it just makes it look like it would be really satisfying. Because you can, if you made a mistake, you basically just delete that layer, which is something that's a lot harder when you're drawing with your hand. You can't just delete. You can't just say, oh, that doesn't work. Take away. Okay, so I'm just adding in some more shadow. So once you start finishing your shadows up, you can go back in. Now you can start to add in any details you want. So if you want to add in sprinkles, now is the time to add those in. If you want to make your cone a waffle cone, if you can go through and start adding in some of those lines to make your cone waffle. If you want to add in some sort of like drippy chocolate sauce, you could add that in, and you color it in super, super dark. I haven't done a lot of this with this drawing, but because I'm really trying to focus on making my values go from dark to light really gradually. But another way to do that is to smudge it. And you can use your finger to smudge. Sometimes there are tools you can use to smudge. Some people like to put a piece of paper towel or a tissue underneath their finger to help smudge. And that can help you get like a more soft look. So I'll do it on the top up here with my finger. You can get like a kind of a softer look when you smudge. It just depends on what kind of look you're going for. I kind of tend to not like to smudge sometimes. I like to try to do it just with my pencil, but it can be an easier way to really get some of those nice, like smooth changes between values. So when you think you're done with the shading, now here's the tricky part. Go back and add more dark and make your picture darker. Like I said, when I was working with all of these kids who were putting together their portfolios, the one thing that I really noticed was that nobody brought up their value dark enough. So you want to make something look really, truly realistic. You want to have a really high contrast, and contrast is the difference between the lights and the darks. So you want the contrast to be a lot. So you want the lights to be really bright, highlights to be really bright, and you want the shadows to be super dark. So go back and keep working, keep adding even more layers. Keep working on it, even when you think you're done. Build up that dark edge. Okay. And the one thing that we haven't done yet that will really make our ice cream cone look more realistic is to add in that true shadow. So that true shadow, so the light's coming from here and it's hitting this ice cream cone, and the ice cream cone is going to cast a shadow onto this plank. So if I draw kind of like this, a line coming like this whole corner back here is going to be cast in shadow because this is the shadow from the cone. So I'm actually going to start kind of light, start shading that in. Just like that. And I'm going to build up some of the layers. I'm going to build it up so that it's darker. Just like that. And I like working in one direction, so I'll move my pencil like to the left and the right first, and then I'll go a different direction when I'm trying to get something to look really flat and like one value. This shadow is all going to change between light and dark because I'm using the light is really strong, and so it's casting a pretty flat shadow. There's not a lot of change. In one direction. So I'll go in one direction, side to side. And then I'll go another direction. So I'm kind of going diagonal now. Just like that. Yeah. Now, it's also kind of nice to take a step back when you think you're done. Take a kind of back away from it for a second and have a look. And see if you notice, is anything standing out where like you went from dark to light and it didn't really, the value isn't smooth. So you might want to go back in and like, see if you can add a little more darkness to like blend that in to make that look a little smoother. If you are done, yeah, yeah, do you want to share? Absolutely. You can totally share. And tater tot, absolutely, a cotton ball. A cotton ball works great. Cotton ball, even like a Q-tip. Whoa, you went so fast, girl. Oh my gosh. That looks awesome. You know what I want you to do? I love the colors on the cones of those ice creams. Oh man. I want you to go back though, and I see if you can add some more shadow. See if you can go a little darker with the shadows, okay? Can you take your pencil and see on the cone, see if you can a little bit, add a couple more layers, but those look awesome. Okay. Ooh, all right, I have 20 minutes. So I think I might have time for one more cone. So like I said, I was gonna try to do one with pencil, and I was gonna try to do one in color. So for the one that is going to be in color, oh, I need some browns for my cone. So what I like to do, especially when I'm working with color pencils, is I like to separate out my color pencils by the value. So what I do is I try to pull a lot of colors that are in the same color families. So I think I'm gonna do this one maybe in blues, but before class what I did was I kind of like went through my color pencils and I pulled out, and I'll do this with browns. So I have all of my color pencils in just like old tennis ball containers. And I'm just pulling out a bunch of different shades that are all kind of in the same color family. So these are all like browns and tans, and I like this one. Like different, they're all kind of in the same color family. And what I like to do is, before I do anything on my actual paper, if I'm using color, I'll start with these browns that I just pulled out, is on my placemat or on like a sketch pad, I kind of test out these colors and I try to see which ones are the light ones, what colors are the lightest, what colors are the like in between. And I try to make my own little value scale based on the colors I have. So, ooh, I'm noticing, I guess, yeah. So I think that it should go, which one was which? Yeah, this one should go first. So this one's the lightest color. Ooh, I don't know if you can see that. Looks like this one is the lightest. So that one's gonna go over here. That's my lightest color. This is my second lightest. I can go a little bit darker with it. And here's my third. And I'm going to be working on blending these colors together too. And here's my fourth. And here's my fifth. That way I've kind of created a value scale using color. So instead of just using a pencil and going from dark to light, I've done the same thing. but I've done it with color instead. Okay, so.
It's the end up, I think.
Sorry, Scott, I couldn't hear you. You broke out.
Oh,
Say it again.
someone has their hand up. I think there might be a question.
Sure, yeah, let's see. Oh, I think you, yeah, what's up? You got, unmute yourself. You have to type.
Unmute your I want to share.
Oh, yeah, did you get a chance to share? Yeah, let's see.
I want to share.
Yeah, I'd love to see. Let's see. Wow, those are, oh, look at that ice cream. Oh my gosh. So what flavors are on that ice cream?
This one's blueberry and this one's green
Is that,
tea. This one's orange and this one's cherry.
ooh, nice. That looks,
Cherry.
oh, with the cherry on top.
The ice cream scooper, and then this is cream, but it was not big enough to say whipped cream. And today I'm gonna make ice cream with whipped cream. I'm gonna make some.
Oh, awesome. You know what you could do? You could do a whole banana split. Do you know what that is? With all three, with like a big cup with all three scoops and like some like chocolate sauce. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that. Thank you for sharing. So yeah, Des and Max, yes, yeah, you can share in just one second. Let me just explain to everybody what I'm doing with the colors in case they want to do some shading with colors. So what I did was I took the color that was in the middle. So here are my two light colors, here are my two dark colors. This is my mid-tone. I took my mid-tone color and starting on the dark side, I'm just starting to add in some shadow, and I'm doing the same thing I did with my pencil, starting with a dark, like a more pressure, a more firm pressure, and then going lighter all the way across. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to leave like an area over here totally white. Okay, and Des and Max, go ahead. Well, let's see yours. I can't wait.
Okay, hi. This one's mine.
Oh, nice. That looks good. Very good. I like this. I like that you even shaded the table. I didn't think to do that.
Yeah, I shaded the table and then I cross-hatched the...
Yeah, the cones.
We were going to draw regular ice cream cones. So I ended up doing cross-hatching, but then we weren't doing regular ice cream cones. So I was...
No worries. Yeah, those are great. Let's see. Did you? Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, was it that? Okay. All right. Only one wanted to share. Okay, that's awesome. Really nice job, guys. All right. So I am starting with the color. I'm just kind of working my way over the same thing before. Underneath this, the scoop is going to be more shadow because that's where the ice cream is casting a shadow onto the cone. So I'm going to add in some shadow under here with my mid-tone color. And I'm going back and I'm really trying to darken everything up. I really want my colors to show, to have a lot of contrast. So to go from dark to light. And so I'm just working, leaving that area over here untouched for the light is gonna be. Do the same thing underneath that I did on the first one with my mid-tone, starting over here with dark. After I do my mid-tone, then I like to look at the colors that are basically to the right and the left of my middle color. So mine's pretty easy because I picked out 5 different colors with my browns. And I like to blend my colors in. So let me do that shadow that's coming around like this. So this dark part is really going to be dark. A lot of shadow under here. Just like this. And then make that a little darker. Okay. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to put that mid-tone color back in the middle because that's my mid-tone. And maybe I'm going to start with the color that's a little bit darker. And I'm just kind of working on top. And I'm adding in a little bit more darkness. I'm going to work over here. I'm just kind of blending this darker color in a little bit. Working my way over, making it a little bit darker. I'm gonna add a little bit of dark, anywhere where there was a dark shadow, I'm just kind of working this darker color in. You can see it's kind of starting to get a little bit darker. Oop, a little dark there, so it's okay. Like I said, it's easier to work lightly and add layers than it is to start with a super dark layer and then have to try to erase it. All right, now maybe I'm gonna try to work with the light color now. So the color that was to the left of my midtone. So I'm starting kind of in the middle here. This color has a little bit of a yellowish color. So I'm just kind of adding a little bit of yellow. I'm working really lightly. And I'm actually gonna go in the other opposite direction. So a lot of my color, I was going this way with my lines. And I didn't talk a lot about this, but sometimes when you are shading, it's kind of good to think about the shape of what you're drawing. So this drawing, this cone is curved. It's like a cylindrical. So as I'm working my pencil, I'm kind of working my pencil in an arc to kind of match the curve of this cone. So I'm kind of going like that. For this color though, I'm going the opposite direction. I'm kind of going this direction. So another curve, but kind of going this way. And because this is one of my highlights, my highlight colors, I am bringing the color up really lightly into that no draw zone of light, that super bright highlight area, because this is one of my highlightish colors. But I don't want to go too dark with it. I want to try to preserve some of that white space for that really bright highlight. Just like that. Okay, I can take my lightest color, go over it a little bit more, try to blend those colors in. That's pretty good. I don't want to do too much. I'm going to take my super darkest color. This is my darkest, and I'm going to go back in and I'm going to darken up those areas of shadow. So really trying to make those dark areas pop. So like I said, it's really hard to overwork your shading. Like what I see, it's so much more common for people to underwork. And when you're working on your shading, it's actually really hard. In fact, I challenge you to try to overwork your shading. It'll take you a really long time to overwork something. And it's kind of, I think people are like, they think they're finished too early. Like I know even with this one, I want to go back and add in more shadow, because I don't think my contrast is totally high enough yet. So I really want to go back in and see if you can make it even darker. Like if you overwork a picture, then awesome. Like then you've done something that a lot of artists haven't, because it's really challenging to add so much shadow that you're like, whoa, that's way too dark.
Heather Rose has her hand up.
Yeah, Heather Rose, let's see. What's up?
Well, I did a few, so here's one.
Wow, look at that, that cone. Oh my gosh, that cone. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Hey, would you add a table for that so it's not just floating, and maybe add a shadow underneath it? So I think that's what that drawing needs. But I love that one. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. I love it. See if you can add. I think that you can go even a little bit darker. Ooh, wow, that is what I'm talking about. That ice cream cone on the left really pops with the colors that you added. That looks amazing. And that swirl, I don't think you're done with that swirl though. I think you need to work on that one a little more. I think you can definitely go darker. I think keep working on that one. That one's amazing. Really good work. Doesn't matter. You're getting an ice cream cake. Awesome. Nice. Yes. Happy birthday, Max. What flavor is your ice cream cake going to be? Are you chocolate? Oh, that was so sweet. Matt, hope doesn't Max saw that. You did. Okay. What flavor cake are you getting, guys? Do you know? Maybe not yet. All right. So if you want, I'm kind of experimenting here. I'm going to add in some of those, make it a true waffle cone. So with my darkest color, I'm just adding in some of those curved lines. I was inspired by Heather Rose and Liliana's drawings. They had all those delicious waffle cones. So if you want to add that in, all I'm doing is I'm doing it with my darkest color. And the truth, I can do it over here with this too, with my pencil. Kind of work in diagonals. It's kind of curved diagonal lines, going one direction on the cone and then going the opposite direction. So details like this I save for last because they're usually done with a darker pencil, so dark lines. So I save details like that for last because I want to have all the shun first. All right, so if I've done the ice cream cone, we're running out of time. I'm not gonna have time to finish my ice cream, but let's say I was gonna do, I don't know, maybe some blues and greens for my ice cream cone. I would do the same thing I did before down here where I would kind of try to arrange my colors going from light to dark. So so if I'm doing blues, here's some blues, then I would go, okay, I think this is the lightest, and then that, and then that, and then that. But you never know until you actually start sketching them out onto your paper. Because I mean, this color actually, when I drew it, it actually looks kind of dark. Yeah. So this color, even though that the wrapping on this color is lighter than this one, this color is actually darker. So that's why you want to like practice and sketch out your colors first. Hold on, let's see. I see some people who want to share.
Beth and Laura would like to share.
Absolutely, and I see that Des and Max, you don't know what kind of cake you're getting. All right, it's a surprise. It's better that way anyways. But yeah, I would love to see Laura. I'd love to see yours.
Okay, so
Whoa.
far.
These look awesome. Wow. Look at that. Wait, is that like a traditional Neapolitan where you have like the three colors? You have like,
Yeah.
or the three flavors, chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Whoa, and look at that one. Very nice. Very nice. I love it. These look awesome. What flavors are on the one on the left?
The one on the left is let me think. The one on the left is strawberry and blueberry.
Blueberry ice cream. What? Yum. What's your favorite flavor?
Probably mint chip.
Me too. That's exactly what my favorite flavor is. Mint chip is definitely, but in my family, that's a highly debatable topic. So, because some people in my family hate mint. They think that mint should only belong on toothpaste. And I completely disagree.
Yeah. So in our family, Lori's and I's family, it's cat muted. Our top two flavors right now, at least, are blackberry and mint.
Nice. Those are two good ones. Two good ones. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah. So you just noticed that yours was the glass top. It was glass. Is that why you had it light? That's so cool. I like that detail. I just now put two and two together. Yeah. On your drawing, we were just looking. It was glass, so you could kind of see through, which is really cool. Yeah. Is there somebody else who wanted to share? It is time to share. So anybody who is ready.
Cat.
Hi, Kat. Let's see.
So I finished my shaded one over here, and I'm kind of
Nice.
holding back slightly on the shading because I have really thick paper,
Uh-huh.
but even all the pencil shading, you can see right there,
Oh, is it going through the paper?
it's causing the paper to kind of fray, kind of going through.
Yeah. All right. That was a good call then. Yeah. You want to be careful because that can happen if you're pressing down super hard, depending on what kind of paper you have. Oh, I love the color blending there. You just need to pick a really light color now. You need a super light color.
Yeah, this is my pencil lineup right here.
Nice. Awesome. I see your midtones, your lights, your darks. Very nice. Awesome.
And I just keep going back with the color before it in the lineup.
Oh, yeah,
With
exactly.
Over
That's
shade, just like you should.
That's exactly what you do. Really nice job. Really good
You took
practice
this
there.
pencil?
Even with pencil, yeah. Yeah.
My sister just threw a.
Okay. All right. We're gonna go to somebody else, but I love it. You did a really, really, really nice job.
Here's
Let's
Evie.
see. Hi, Evie. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. See, I love doing shading, working on black paper because you can get those contrasts so high. So
like
tell me
pencil on black paper, so it's kind of like a nice change.
Yeah, you know what? I was torn between doing a demo on black paper and on white paper, and I chose white because I figured it was what most people had, but my heart really wanted to draw on black because if you ever do, guys, this is speaking to everyone, if you ever have black paper and you have like a white color pencils or were you using pastels, Evie?
I just used light colored pencils.
You're using color pencils.
Yes.
If you have color pencils on it, you get like the most beautiful drawings. So, and that work is super, super beautiful. Really, really nice work. I love seeing that. Is there anybody else who wants to share?
Leanna and Heather Rose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finish the middle ice cream on here.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, that looks great. I love it. I really see that you really upped the value on that middle one with the shading. Don't forget to do.
For this one, I only used colored pencils, and for this one, I used pencil. So what I did for this one was I shaded it in with pencil, and then I colored over lightly with colored pencil to give it value.
Yeah, don't forget to add in that shadow.
Oh yeah, it's there. It's just very faint, so you can't really see it.
Yeah, really nice. Really, really nice. Awesome work. Really awesome work. Is there anybody else who wants to share? Oh, whoa. Awesome. That table. Very nice. Very, very nice. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, I see so many different flavors of ice cream in that drawing. You have like every, it's like a rainbow colored ice cream. Oh my gosh, that looks awesome. Girls, you did a beautiful, beautiful work.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi girls, do you want to share? Hi Vienna, hi Victoria. Oh, wow, look at those. Look at those shadows, beautiful drawings. I love it. What flavors are on that middle cone?
What flavor is it?
I don't know.
You're not sure? Purple flavor and pink flavor?
I guess the top one is grape and the bottom one is strawberry.
Yum. And did you add the sprinkles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that touch.
I haven't added the sprinkles on the other one.
On the middle one yet? Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely work on that in a when you guys remember I know that we didn't get a chance to finish. I only half finished mine. If you ever want to work on these at home. Awesome. Oh, look at that kawaii. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. Look how happy. Oh my gosh. So I love that this month is just ice cream. Like we've done cartoon ice cream and now realistic style ice cream. Those are awesome. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing. Oh yeah, let's see your sisters.
Oh!
ice cream cone fall?
I did on purpose.
Oh no! It fell. I see it splattered onto the table. Oh, it's a tragedy.
Splattered on the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk. Oh no, it's tragic. Tragic. Oh, what good shading you did though. Really nice work. And I love it. I love how you took this and totally changed the drawing to fit you. These are awesome drawings, girls. I don't know if you saw Liliana and Heather Rose's comment, but they just said that you two are insanely good artists, and I completely agree with that. Really good work.
Well, I hadn't finished.
Okay, well keep working on it, and you can share it next week, okay? If you ever finish, you want to share next week.
If Tot would
Let me
like to
know.
share by screen sharing, if that's okay.
Oh, okay. Sure, absolutely. Okay. Oh, wow. Tater Tot, that's amazing. So this was all using, tell me the name of the program you used again. Oh, I think you might be on mute. It's okay. I think he was on mute, but that was amazing. Oh my gosh. I have to say, Krita, really nice. Yeah, and really, it looks so realistic. You can really get just some really cool effects using, oh, no worries about the microphone, using digital art. Like, that was amazing. Really, really good work. All right, last call for anybody who hasn't shared, who has not had a chance to share. You can say no worries. You can say no, I'm good.
Okay, I'll just share.
Oh, okay.
I'm really bad at like shading. I use charcoal and then I use colored pencils.
Awesome. You know what, Nissi? I think you're being really hard on yourself, because I think you did a really, really nice job. Because, and like I said before, shading is all about practice. It really is just doing it over and over again. So I think those are both really, really good. Nice, really nice work.
I just started learning how to use charcoal.
Yeah, charcoal is hard. I didn't even get to my charcoal drawing, but charcoal can be pretty messy, because so it's like a totally different style of working, because it can be it can just be really it's so soft, it can be really smudgy. So yeah, it's a totally different style, but you did an awesome job. I'm really impressed with everybody's drawings. I know I've probably said this before, but Chuck Jones, one of the Chuck Jones's lines was, I always mess it up, Scott. I always get the number wrong, but you have 10,000 bad drawings in you. You have to get out before you get to the good ones. So just consider, just consider all of this practice. It's just like playing a musical instrument. You got to practice at it. But you guys are doing amazing, and I'm so impressed at what you guys did today, because drawing realistically is not an easy task. All right, it is past time. It is 12:05. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you learned something. And if you had that swirl printed out, that's what we're doing next week. So you might want to save that one for next week, all right? Happy birthday again, Max. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.
I have a
Bye.
Oh, Nissi, what's your question?
For class.
Bye.
Nissi, wait, Nissi, just hold on. Wait for people to go. 1 second. Everybody else, bye.
Bye. Oh,
Okay, go ahead, Nissi.
Do you know what the app that Tater Tot was using again?
It was called Krita, Krita. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
it's still on. Yeah, you'll have to look it up. Okay. Okay, bye. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Bye, Scott. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.